Hello, this is Kara from Sacred Something by Kara, and welcome to this video. So this is a little bit different for me. This is probably like one of the more in-depth videos that I've ever done, but basically today I wanted to talk about doodling and how it's possible even if you can't draw, because I cannot draw, but I doodle a lot. And also, I'm going to show you how to do 3 of my favorite doodles. It's something that I am starting to incorporate into my art journal. So that has been really fun. And I thought it would be really cool to kind of show you my favorites and break them down to how I do it, and then show you how it looks both as a final project in my art journal and also as when I use it to add to collage, which I have started to do as well, which is really fun. So come along for this journey. I also want to say, subscribe if you like collage art and art journaling, and journals in general. I like all that stuff, as well as zines and zine making. Those are kind of my wheelhouses, and I'm going to be sharing lots of stuff in the coming months, so definitely hang out if you are into that. And also, linked below, I used a lot of resources when I was finding different doodles to do. And I will be linking them. It's a lot of Pinterest. You can also find them on YouTube and TikTok. I think TikTok and Pinterest were the ones that I used the most frequently to find like doodle ideas. So I'll link those below, and then I will also be linking the journals that I use, the pens that I use, pretty much everything I can find. It'll all be linked below. So let's check it out. I'm gonna start by showing you my doodle journals and kind of what I've been doing in there, and then we'll get into the how-to. Let's go. So first of all, these 2 journals that you're about to see are from Magic of I. They're really gorgeous, and they'll be linked below, so definitely check them out. So I started doodling because I just wanted a way to keep my hands busy and to be creative when I couldn't fully commit to art journaling or collaging, because that requires a lot of materials and setup. So I kind of went through my mom's markers that she had lying around and started to doodle. So the Stabilo markers that you see here, I have those in a lot of colors. Those are really great. I also love Papermate Flair and Sharpie pens. Those top 2 I use for writing a lot, and they also work really well for this. So basically, what I like about this, besides the fact that it just like is so relaxing, is I truly and deeply cannot draw, but everything that you're seeing here is just like circles and lines, but it looks really impressive. So that's really fun, and it also makes you feel super accomplished when you finish one. There's so many different things to play with, so many ways to get creative. There's obviously much more than just what I'm showing here. Zentangle is like a whole universe that I don't know a ton about, but it's definitely something you could dive into. Yeah, these are definitely less complicated, and so are the 3 that I'm about to show you. So let's get into the first one. So this first doodle that we will be exhibiting is I call it like the bubble doodle. This is a really prevalent one that I saw when I was looking for different things, different patterns and things, and it's so easy, but it looks so cool, and you can really like mess with the colors and the shading and make it look even cooler. So let me show you. So I did this like black rectangle around. It's just how I like to do it a lot, but obviously you can go all the way to the edge of the page. That's totally up to you. The pen I'm using is a Papermate Flair medium. I really like these. So basically all you have to do is kind of just use your creativity and do some wiggly lines. I've seen some people do like a point and then a line, but you can really get creative with it. And it's kind of as many or as few as you want. But you kind of want to like generally take up the space. You can also do, you know, 1 line at a time. But yeah, so this is good. Let me put 1 more up here. Okay, so you'll see here that we have a selection of just wavy lines. And the next thing is to draw some dots on the lines. So this one is an easy one because it's a small line. I'm just going to draw a dot in the middle. And then for here, I'll probably do 2 dots. You can do more or less, and that's going to be more or less bubbles, which will make them kind of bigger or smaller. So for example, the next thing you're going to do is start just kind of drawing an arch that connects the 2 dots together. So it's basically like a little U shape from the end of the little line, and you just kind of do, and then you can do as many or as few as you want. Also kind of up to you, but basically you just kind of keep going. Connect the 2 lines, connect the 2 lines with a little bit of a curve. And with thinner pens, you can get way more lines. One thing I've always wanted to do that I haven't yet is to do different colored curved lines. So that could be a cool idea. So yeah, you just kind of keep going with this. And then let me show you, for example, let's do this line here. So then you can see how they start to touch. So you've got this, you're going, and then you can go here in between and keep going with the curved lines. And then when you get to a point like this, where it's like you can't really draw another line, you just kind of keep layering the ovals. See, that was kind of a mistake, but it's okay. Allow yourself to make mistakes, right? So yeah, you just kind of keep going until it's full. So for example, like I'll put one here and do the curved lines. And then I would put one here and do these curved lines. And then on this, I would probably do a little bit here just to raise it up, and then just kind of triangle it out. So you see what I mean? It's very easy, but very, very effective. And it looks really, really cool. So when you're done, it will look something like this. This is in my art journal that I'm working on right now. I've started to do a few like final draft doodles where I try to do like my very best doodling that I can. I love the way this looks. I also did one in the back with 2 different colors of red. The right is actually darker than the left. So you can kind of see what it looks like in color as well as in black and white. All right, let's get to the next doodle. So the next doodle is probably one of my favorites. I'm calling it the triangle doodle. I don't know how else to like really name it, but it's pretty straightforward. So there's 2 different variations that I've done with this one before, and I'll show you what both look like. But basically the first thing you do is just draw lines and make a bunch of triangles. You can do like 1 triangle at a time, but I usually like to draw the full like outline that I'm gonna do, and then I fill them in one at a time. But I like to have all the triangles drawn out. So you can really do as big or as small as you want. You could obviously use a ruler if you want to get exact. That's not really my style because I'm just kind of a mess. Like I said a million times, right? I can't draw. So the ruler wouldn't really do that much for me. So I kind of just like to mess around and draw a bunch of triangles. Let's do this here. If you find a square, maybe just cut it in half. And yeah, you can like kind of make them big or small, as many as you want, as few as you want. If you see like a big space and you want to cut it. Oh, we have a square, 2 squares. So there's that. I'll do that at a different angle. And oh, here's another one. So basically just turn it all into little tiny triangles, or, you know, triangles of different sizes. And then the next thing that I do is there's, like I said, there's two different ways. So the first way is to just draw little lines. Now you can fill the whole thing with lines going one way, or something that I often do is to switch directions within the triangle and just kind of, this is a really fun thing to mess with different widths of pen. Like you'll see in some of my doodles, the lines are really small because I just used a pen with like a really fine point. And then do one of these. And then this I'm gonna round out like this. Just like that. Or like I said, let's pick a small one. So this small one here, you could, hope you can see, fill it with just lines going in one direction. And then if I did do this, I would just try to make sure that the triangle next to it, they would be going in a different direction. So there's that. So relaxing. I'm not a super perfectionist about it, so it's just really, really fun. So there's that. The other way that I do this doodle is for the lines to all be coming from one point and go out like a diagonal. So let's pick a good one. Yeah, this one will be good. So, oh, I'm finding some squares. So, yeah, so I like, oh, actually this one will be even better. So you just draw lines and have them all pointing in to the center. This can be a little bit trickier. I've messed these up a lot. There's one that I have in my art journal that you will see where like it looks good from far away, but if you looked up close, it would be like, oh, that's kind of a disaster. But it's just another variation on the triangle doodle that I really like, you know? And that looks really cool if you have, like when you do these, if you have all of them coming from like different points, that just ends up looking really, really awesome. Let's do this one. This is a small one. So yeah, this is another way to do the triangle doodle, and you can have like the outline be one color, the lines be different colors. You can do two colors, like a thicker pen and then with a thinner one do a different color. Oh my god, there's so many possibilities, but this is definitely probably my favorite one. And your finished result might look like this. This is one of my favorites that I've ever done. I just love how this looks. The lines are so tiny. I believe this was Sharpie pen. Ugh, I just love it. This next one, I did two different green colors. I like it. The lines look a little bit messy to me, but it's okay. And this next one is one of the ones where all the lines come from the one point. I have to do this one again and practice it a little bit more, but those colors are really beautiful. All right, on to the next. So next up is I'm calling it like the circle doodle. This one is tricky, and I'll be honest, I don't do this one unless I'm feeling like ambitious, or I know that I don't want to finish a page quickly or finish a doodle quickly, because this just takes me like forever. It'd be different for everybody. But yeah, so let me show you. So basically it's even more than a circle. It's kind of like a teardrop. But basically how I would do it is I would start in this corner and do a little tiny circle drop, outline it again, and outline it again. So you have a little like 3 circle thing right there, right? And then I would go to this point that I just made. 1, 2, 3. this point that I just made here. 2, 3. And then here, 2, 3, and here, 1, 2, 3. Now it's tricky when it gets to a place like this, where there's no clear point that you can go from, because it's almost kind of like square. So what I would do is probably just kind of pull it out a bit, and then honestly I would color that in. So, and that will happen as it gets bigger. See, there's another little space there. Just color that in. And then that ends up shading it in a really cool way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And color that in. I've done a lot of these. You'll see in my art journals that are different colors or are different shades. I have one that's like all different blues that I really love. Yeah, also if I end up making a bump, like let's do it here. 1, 2. If I make a bump that's like too big, I'll just go in and draw another little bump there. 2, 3. And I'll color that in. 1, 2, 3. Color that in. So that makes sense, right? And you could also like start at all 4 corners and then meet in the middle. That's really cool. You could also, I've seen some really cool stuff where people like I can't do this because I can't draw again, but like you actually do it like a circle in the center going out. Tricky, but you could probably do it. Because you could also like, I don't know if you could like, here, this is me trying this live for the first time. If you like did almost like a flower shape and then went out from there, you know what I mean? That could be really cool. But I will say, I think like whatever you start with, you probably have to stick with for the whole time. But honestly, no, you don't. Also, like if I wanted to go out from here and leave that, I could make that work. But this is also very, very relaxing. Just, you know, you just keep going until you can't go anymore. So yeah. And the final looks like this. So the bubbles are really cool. The circles, if you will. I love mixing colors, doing different shades. It just takes a really long time, but it's worth it in the end if you can make it work. And then this is what I'm working on now. Like I said, it takes a while. But I do really like those stripes. I'm kind of like alternating. I think on that facing page, I might mix it up and do something a little bit different, but yeah, that's it. And I also wanted to show you kind of how I incorporate doodling into my art journals. So these were 2 images that just were on white backgrounds, 3 images actually. And I just added a little bit of doodling to the collage. And I really like how it turned out. I'm definitely going to be doing this more often when I have a little empty space or, you know, a blank page that just needs a little extra something. So that's it. 3 different doodle types that you can try, that you can add to your art journal or can do to kind of relax your brain, as I do quite often, usually while I'm like watching crappy reality TV or something. Sometimes I just like to have busy hands. I'm sure maybe some of you can relate to that. So yeah, let me know below in the comments which of these 3 is your favorite. Mine is definitely the triangles, but let me know what you think, which one's your favorite, which one you're gonna try. And if you do try them, make sure you tag me on Instagram if you post a picture of it. Sacred Something by Kara is my Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, doing stuff, sharing art, having fun, and thanks for hanging out. Subscribe, and I will see you soon.